It's that time again. That's right. We'd like some feedback from you, the viewers. Couple things I'd like to find out about. Number one, questions for the guys and girls at the Gamers Table. Send them in to thegamerstable@hotmail.com, and we will compile a list of the top 10, 15 or so, and we will answer them on our end of the year, last of the season episode. So that'll come sometime in December. So you got lots of time to send in your question. Questions about anything. We don't care what it is. Send in your questions. The top 10 will make it. You could start a campaign with your friends to get a really stupid question in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? Now, other things we have going on. Coming up, we have our anniversary show that's coming up in October, I believe. Early October. I'll have to check the date. It'll be right here. Bing! And for that one, we want, hey, you remember this from last time? We want your favorite moments. So you have until September 30th. I'll make the date for sure. I think it's September 30th to get in your favorite moment from the Gamers Table. That's all 4 seasons of the Gamers Table, including the Gamers Table Independent Edition, which is wrapping up its 2nd season in December of this year. And we will compile the top 10 of those and show you the top 10 favorite moments as voted by you, and we'll show our favorite moments from the last few years of the shows. And we will draw a couple lucky names, and they will win prize packs from the Gamers Table. That's right. Games and other paraphernalia, buttons, magnets, that sort of thing, sign stuff. It'd be all cool. So you want to do that. So get ready and send in your favorite moment. It means you're going to have to go back probably and watch some of the shows. It's kind of nice if you go back on YouTube to the user FBN Dude. That's the channel for the Gamers Table. Don't ask me to explain why that's the title of it. Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, and Independent Season 1, all of them are playlists, so you can just click it and you watch all the way through. And what we want you to do is say the show that your favorite moment is in, and roughly the time where that moment appears at. So we look forward to seeing your entries and showing you some interesting stuff. Now there's one more thing coming up. You're not really going to have a lot of interaction in this, but you know it's coming. We do it every year. Our Halloween episode is coming up. What game would you guys like us to do for the Halloween episode? It should be something sort of with a Halloween or a scary kind of theme, sort of a monster type game. You've seen some of the ones we've done in the past. You've seen the kind of shows we've done in the past. So let us know what we can do. Hello and welcome to the Gamers Table Independent Edition. It is Friday, and there's something different going on. This is Dorian. She's going to be one of our new correspondents, hopefully for quite a long time. Why don't you start off by giving them a little idea of why you're a gamer that should be reviewing things?
I'm a gamer because I've played games my whole life. It was one of the big things we had growing up, and when we didn't have anything, we made up our own games. So I've always been interested, in, especially in board games, card games, anything like that. That's creative. So having an opportunity to try out some new games kind of seemed like a really cool thing to do.
So I believe you also have another thing in common with me. You also design your own games. You actually have a game of your own.
We do. It's called Jungle Quest. It's psychotic. People who play it really, really hate it. Those of us who designed it think it's hysterical to watch people get frustrated in the game. There are certain things. The game plays fairly well, but there are certain traps that we've built into it that if you get caught in it, it's cyclical and it's really hard to break out of that trap.
Don't want to pick up the game because it's not bad. I would play it again.
Okay.
Japanda the card game is a fast-paced, zany game of heroism and friendship. Prove that you're the most heroic hero by completing quests, collecting heroic gear, saving your friends, or staying out of the zoo. So, first off, when you make a game, include everything you need to play the game. We get into the winning the game section, and it's you need to collect friendship tokens. That's one of the things you can do to win the game. Collect 10 of those. No friendship tokens. You know it's one of the things that I'm going to get on your case about if you don't put all the stuff in. And it comes from the Game Crafter. You could have went to the Game Crafter and created a set of shards. They're little round tokens printed on both sides. Same stock as the card stock here for like $2 or $3. 70 of those, which would be more than enough to cover what you need for this game. But you didn't. Don't do that. Don't be Magic the Gathering. So it's a card game. And how do we set up? Okay.
There are a deck of cards called adventure decks, and these are cards where you have various things that you can do. When you pull up an adventure card, it will give you an adventure to go on. It'll also tell you at the bottom the criteria you need to make to succeed at that adventure. There are 3 different things. There's strength, there's wisdom, and wit. And they're represented by the dice. So the little colors at the bottom, the red, the blue, and the green, and you roll the corresponding dice. If you roll that to succeed, you've got that, and you've got yourself whatever number of points there are. Most of them are 1-pointers, but some of them that have higher rolls are 2 or 5 points. So one of the things that you can do is collect 10 points to win the game. In this deck, you also get the Zookeeper cards. You don't do anything with the Zookeeper cards until you have 3, and then that means you're trapped, and now you have to fight the Zookeeper to get out. You can look at a friend to help you out. You don't want to get those. You want to stay away from those. The other deck is the Hero deck, and in there you have a number of different cards. You have cards that you can get equipment, and what that does is it gives you bonuses for the various dices. Each character in the game, there's 4 characters. Each character also has 5 equipment cards. And you want to try and collect them all because you might get a 1-point bonus.
Like right here.
Yeah. So you might get a 1-point bonus on that particular aspect. But if you're that character and you have that card, it becomes a +2 bonus. So just a little bit better.
You can also win the game if you can collect the 5 pieces that have your name on it.
Yeah.
Not easy, but you can do it.
Yeah. Other cards in this deck are, of course, I can't find any of the others now. There's play cards and there's conditional cards. There's play cards. A play card is, the game is set where you can have 2 actions per turn. A play card can be played out of action. So if you have a play card and somebody else does something, you can use that play card at any time.
Backwards. Conditionals you can use at any time. Play is in play or equip a hero card.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You're right, but you got the words backwards.
The conditional cards. Those cards you can play at any.
What she just said, but conditional.
Conditional. So if for example, there's a conditional card that says you can steal a piece of equipment from somebody if they play it. So in one of the games that we played, I was playing the Japanda character. Craig played a card that had my equipment name on it. I already had 2 pieces of my equipment. If I would have had that conditional card in my hand at that point, I could have stolen the card from him when he played it. So that's just an example of how the condition works. Play cards also allow you to do certain things. There are play cards that can help you help your friends get away from zookeepers, or play cards that can facilitate an extra roll dice or an extra number on the dice when you roll it. There's a variety of play cards. So those are the 2 basic cards, yes. and you have your 3 dice. So that's basically the equipment that gets in there. So to start the game, everybody gets 5 cards from the hero deck. Oh,
bonus points for that. Nice, easy reference card on the front, telling you the order of play and what you can do. On the back, explaining that. So it's kind of nice when you can condense most of your rules onto cards, and you've done it concisely where somebody can understand. Now, there is an issue with the rules, a couple. Yeah. Not major, but they are things like, For one, when you get zookeepers, they go out in front of you. It states that they do nothing, so they don't do anything to you. It states that in the rules. But it doesn't say whether or not you can fight them. Do you have to wait for 3 before you can do any fighting? That's unfortunately never covered. We played it that you could not do anything to them until you got all 3.
Yep.
The other thing that is a little iffy is it has you, as soon as you defeat a zookeeper, shuffle it back into the deck. But when you got 4 people going, and all of them have some zookeepers in front of them, are you stuck in the zoo, or are the zookeepers chasing you? You're going to get to the zoo. It's sort of an honor system thing, and everybody's going to keep track. So what we started doing, instead of shuffling the zookeepers back, is once you've defeated him, turn him upside down. So you still have 3 in front of you, but you've seen which one you've defeated. Then once you've defeated them all, shuffle all 3 back into the deck. That seemed to work a little better for confusion anyway.
Yeah, we just found that rule when we did the initial run of the game, we found that was the rule that caused the most confusion. One of the other things, and it's a small point, but the game is, it's in my mind, it's much more a young person's game as opposed to an adult game. And that's fine because I have grandkids and we play card games and stuff like that too. The
technology, don't you love it?
The problem we found was a lot of the writing is extremely small on the cards, very hard to read. And on the character cards, each character has a passive action, which they can play all throughout, and they have one active action, which they can play once during the game. Japanda's active action, for example, is if he has 3 zookeeper cards, he doesn't have to try and dice them. That one time per game, he can just eliminate all the zookeeper cards and continue playing. And then when that happens, the card gets turned over. Unfortunately, the back of the cards are in very dark colors with black print, very difficult to read. There's only one character card where you can actually read the back.
Just make the card backgrounds lighter. And, the nice thing about that with the Game Crafter is you can update that particular image, upload it, and you won't have to proof it again. It'll just accept the new image. Hi, this is a special report from the Gamers Table Independent Edition. We are lucky enough to be talking to Dorian from the Boston Festival of Indie Games, live via satellite, and all sorts of cool technology here. So let's see if we can connect to him. Hi, Dorian. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
What is the Boston Festival of Indie Games?
The Boston Festival of Indie Games is basically a celebration of indie games and indie game designers. It's a place where we bring indie game designers in touch with the general public. So, for example, for this year, we expect about 30 tabletop design teams, 4,000 to 6,000 attendees.
How many entries did you get, and what kind of games will be at the festival?
So we got, I think, 36 entries. Particularly happy with the quality. We've already had a couple of curation nights. A wide variety of games as well. I've seen games from filler card games, strategy board games, kit games, RPGs. There's even a game where you use ice cubes as playing pieces, so quite the variety. And expect that there will be somewhere between 25 and 30 games which will be entered into the festival, and that's basically when the public gets to vote.
What will the public be voting on?
So the public is voting on 3 categories. We have a category Best Game, a category Best Innovation, and a category Best Art. I needed to look for that one for a little bit. So basically the curators don't judge which games win prizes. They just provide a lot of feedback because our goal is to help designers make their games better, and they also set the sort of the minimum quality level for the games for the festival.
Who did you get for curators?
Well, quite a lot of people actually. 2 of the ones I'm particularly happy with is Zach Hill. Zach used to be a lead designer for Magic the Gathering, works as a game design consultant as well. And Rob DeVio. Rob DeVio made games on, among others, Risk Legacy, First version of Betrayal at House on the Hill, worked for Hasbro for several years, and now has his own gaming company.
Do you want to tell the viewers about the prizes?
I do, but it's a secret. So as soon as we can tell more, we basically has to do with that we're finishing up the prize packages. We'll announce them through our website. So if you go to bostonfig.com, you'll be kept in the loop.
You've talked about the games. What else will be at the festival?
Oh, there's going to be a lot. So next to tabletop games, there are going to be digital games, there's going to be LARPing, there are going to be outdoor games, and next to all kinds of games, we show some movies, we have some talks, keynote speakers. One of them is, for example, Robin Hanukkah. Lots and lots of things to do.
Where is the festival being held?
Good question. So a couple of facts about the festival. The festival is being held at MIT in Cambridge, Massachusetts. It's on September 14th from early morning to well into the evening. And most importantly, it's free because we're trying to make it as accessible as possible for everyone to attend.
Where can people find more information about the festival?
Well, you go to www.bostonfig.com. You can follow us on Twitter, you can follow us on Facebook. Shoot me an email. I'm always happy to talk about the festival, but the main source of information is bostonfig.com.
What are you looking forward to at the festival?
Me, I'm looking forward to just like meeting everybody. I just like talking to designers, talking to people who are enthusiastic about games.
Thanks for taking the time to speak with us today.
Well, I mean, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure, and hope to hear from you guys soon.
And once again, that was Dorian from the Boston Festival of Indie Games coming up in September this year. Wrapping up for Japanda, the card game. So the theme is you're a bunch of zoo animals trying to escape the zoo and have adventures. That's sort of what your cards say. That's sort of what you do. So the theme is all there. It's a little weak because you're equipping swords and stuff on your pandas and things. It's not quite realistic, but the theme is there and it's got a little bit of humor to it. So easy to play. Pretty much do what the card says and you're golden. I mean, it's pretty much explained to you. Fun to play. It's a little simple. I mean, there's stuff to it, and if you read all the flavor text, there's a lot of flavor text on these cards. You could get a bit of a chuckle out of it, and it's really kid-friendly. Based on the target audience being kids, I will give Japanda a 6, because it's going to be entertaining for kids.
I think it's a really fast, fun game. I think it'd be a lot of fun to play it with a younger group of people. I really would like it. Every game I've played so far has been a 2-person game. This game is for 2 to 4 players. I really think I would like to try it as a 4-player game. And I think I'd like to try it more in the way that I play most games. It's a little bit more cutthroat. I think as an adult, that would make it much more interesting. I would give it a score of 4 out of 10. I think it's a really fast game. I think it's not totally inane, but I would really like to try it as a 4-player game. Every one that I've played so far has been 2 players, and you're not really getting a lot of variety between the 2 characters because each character has something different that they can do.
So that's it for this episode of the Gamers Table Independent Edition. Tune in next Friday, probably, when we review another game.